one of the saddest story about lack of trust. Because absence of trust is betrayal. One of the saddest story I have read about how the absence of trust can destroy people is the story of Ikemefuna in Things Fall Apart. Very heartbreaking story. Very heartbreaking story. The night before the day Ikemefuna was to be killed, the oldest man in Umuofia came to Okonkwo and told him, tomorrow the elders have agreed to kill that boy. But remember, that boy calls your father. Do not have your hand in his death. The next day, Ikemefuna was dressed with calabash placed on his head and led through a bush path for the so-called sacrifice. As they were proceeding on a narrow bush path, all of a sudden, Ikemefuna felt the danger of his imminent death. He felt it so palpable. And then, instinctively, he started making an escape. Because immediately he turned, the man behind him already raised a cutlass to chop off his head. And then Ikemefuna was smart enough to dodge it, and the cutlass landed on the calabash, crashing the calabash into pieces. Ikemefuna ran with that desperation towards Okonkwo. Father, Father, they have killed me. As he was running to Okonkwo, something very tragic happened. Something very tragic. Whenever I read that place, I'm filled with goosebumps. I feel like crying. It was Okonkwo, the boy who has been calling him father from the time he was a baby. It was Okonkwo who took the tragic, the fatal blow. It was Okonkwo that killed Ikemefuna, the boy that calls him father. That is a case of betrayal. Is it possible you are going to do this to somebody who trusts you? You have to watch it. Or go and read Shakespeare's and Julius Caesar. We were told that Brutus was Caesar's angel. Brutus loved Caesar. No, Caesar loved Brutus so much. And Brutus was his trusted confidant. But on the day Caesar was killed in the Capitol, it was Brutus who gave the fatal blow, the stab that took the life out of Caesar. And Caesar cried and said, even you, Brutus. Smart. You see, pay attention. If you are erring on the path of trust, if you are committing evil on the path of trust, wait for the surprise of your life. Listen. If you read a man called Dante, he wrote a book called Divine Comedy. They are 3 in number: Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. In the Inferno, which is hellfire, the people that were placed in the worst region of hellfire were Judas Iscariot, Brutus, and all those who committed crime against trust. They were put in the worst place of hellfire. Because the sin of trust is the most terrible sin you can commit against somebody. Because when somebody becomes your friend and trusts you, that person has dropped all his guards. He's no longer trying to wearing any defense mechanism. He is just open. And when you betray that person, you have become a green snake in a green grass. That is a potent force of danger. To pretend as a friend, yet you are an enemy. Watch it. Build trust.